I'm Chuck Layton. I'm Secretary of the Board of the Fountain of Youth program, and tonight we are celebrating the graduation of our first class of Real Talk on Elm Street and Main Street, a group of folks who have been at the Elm Street Correctional Facility. They've been working for, I believe, 14 weeks on different life skills in order to be more employable and to have a better life. While they've been there, we've worked to help them find employment, and now they have come to the end of that program, and so we are celebrating, and they're going to receive a certificate saying that they have completed the program, and I'm just very excited.
Good afternoon. My name is Rick Mim. I'm the Director of the Dubuque Rescue Mission and happy to be here. And as we enter, we've entered Holy Week, as we begin with this evening the 3 holiest days before Easter, let's just take a moment to recognize that God is here with us, and as God's children, we are indeed blessed. Good and gracious God, we praise you this day, and we thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus. As we celebrate his passion and resurrection, may that new life, which has been won for us through him, renew itself within each of us, and especially these graduates. Bless them, fill them with hope, energy, wisdom, and love. And may they realize and recognize the support that we give them with our prayers and our efforts toward their well-being and success. We ask all this in your most glorious name. Amen.
I'm Terry Stewart, and I'm welcoming everyone here today. And I wrote some remarks because often when I want to make remarks at something, I have all these thoughts that flow through my head, and then when I get up there, many of them disappear. So I wrote some things down. I call this Trailblazers and Real Talk. This is a day of celebration, a moment to reflect on where we've been and where we're going in life. My life has been blessed as I grew up in a supportive home with parents, older siblings, and friends who watched out for me, instilled confidence and dreams, enjoyed my successes, and stood by me in my mistakes. As I moved through life, I became aware of just how good I had it and how many others were not as privileged. Many people don't have a support system, sustaining environment, and a safe upbringing, or role models who hold them to the basic tenet of the golden rule, to treat others the way you want to be treated. Those factors seem unimportant or unreal if they're out of reach. Last August, the Fountain of Youth organization didn't exist. Then Caprice Jones had a vision and began to enlist help in making it a reality. First on board were 3 of his friends at St. Luke United Methodist Church, Pastor Chuck Layton, who's seated in the back, Youth Minister Mark Beard, and I, the Social Justice Co-Chairman. We formed a board, incorporated a 501c3, and led by Caprice, our Energizer Bunny at warp speed, we moved forward at a lightning pace. As we added to the board and connected with more people and organizations, we began to unfold Caprice's vision. It became clear that we can be a connecting point for young people of Dubuque to break the bonds of generational poverty and crime, embrace their best selves, gain skills and living wages, and bring pride to themselves and their families. The Fountain of Youth sprang from Caprice's mind into our midst, and plans were made for the first class of pioneers. Along the way, we had a celebratory dinner in January and began weekly classes at the Elm Street Correctional Facility, thus the t-shirt. This group became the Trailblazers. The meetings became Real Talk, and we moved to Iowa Workforce. All topics were on the table, anxieties expressed, and hopes and possibilities explored and nurtured. The last 3 days have been the initial intake period for the first group of pioneers. It's fitting that the same day is the graduation ceremony for the first group of Trailblazers to complete our Real Talk series and prepare to pick up their lives and build better futures. We're blessed to be part of this process of building lives and community. Let's celebrate where we've come from, where we stand today, and where we're going in the years ahead.
I read poetry, and since Easter is right around the corner, I have a poem that I would like to share with everyone. An empty tomb, a stone rolled away, speak of a Savior who rose on Passover Day. For after the Lord was crucified, even the ones who had scoffed and denied knew that something had taken place. For hope was born in the soul of a man and had faith to believe in God's master plan. Nothing could never, ever be removed or erased. For the hope of any man is that Easter story, and life is robbed of all of its meaning and glory, unless you and I know that He has a goal for our resting place and for His searching soul.
As for the bar, he said very high before he spoke, but nobody got the memo, I guess. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Wendy Lyons. I'm the residential manager at the Youth Residential Facility. I've worked in corrections now for over 20 years in a variety of capacities. And one thing during my time in corrections, I met a lot of remarkable people who did well under supervision or in the facility. And oftentimes they would struggle once they were released. So I've seen that there's a disconnect sometimes in the transition between structure and the community. And that's why Alton Priest and Amy came to one of our staff meetings to talk about one of their first major projects, the Mountain of Youth. As I heard Priest talk about that and about generational poverty, I realized that was an area that we were not addressing very well with our clients. During a casual conversation we were having after that meeting, I mentioned that to Caprice, and I got the first of one of his looks where he tips his head back. You can tell he's got a light bulb going off in his head. I've seen that many times since.
Yes.
And he originally thought, he originally asked if he'd be allowed to come in and kind of network with residents about some of those issues. And I said, sure. And what started out as going to be an informal networking turned into a formal program with a curriculum, numerous community speakers and mentors coming through and connecting with the participants. Prior to Real Talk, Caprice and Amy both came through the facility, kind of went through the lounges and networked with a lot of our residents and just explained who they were, where they came from, and what they had planned. Whenever they shared their history, you could see that as soon as they mentioned their connection with the system, that they made an immediate connection with people who were going through the same thing in a way that nobody that works in correction really can. It seemed to me that that they were demonstrating that people can change and that people can make it. But any program we have in corrections, getting compliance with attending has always been a struggle. We made attending Real Talk optional from day one, and from day one we had a great turnout. We had a group that were committed to attending every week, and not only that, they would bring more each week. I think we had more people at the end of the program than we had in the beginning, and anybody that had ever completed the corrections program, we know that we had very few at the end because people just lost interest or just weren't motivated or weren't connecting. I think the fact that we had people attending and throughout the whole thing and inviting people to participate speaks volumes as far as the value of the program. During one of our weekly sessions, we discussed the importance of networking with others to make a positive impact on our future. Not only had the participants been exposed to several community resources, businesses, and individuals who were supportive of helping people in the community, I've seen them also helping each other in ways that they probably hadn't before. I've often said this community has so many helpful, forgiving, and generous people who are willing to support people along their journey. I encourage you all to continue to connect and network with these people going forward. Lastly, I would like to thank those of you who graduated for your commitment to seeing this through and for taking the initiative to better yourselves. I'd also like to thank Terry, James, John, Jason, and Samario, and anyone else who made a ongoing commitment to participate and connect, as well as your respective agencies for allowing you to do so. I'd also like to thank Rick Lim and Pastor Layton for allowing your employees to take part. I'm starting to sound like an Academy Award. And lastly, I'd like to thank both Caprice and Amy for always succeeding in your everyday lives by taking your passion to help other students take.
Well, it's my honor to be announcing the first ever graduating class of Real Talk on Elm Street. So it's awesome. This class is definitely one of a kind, and it was amazingly successful. To kind of go off what Wendy was saying, we started with 8 participants 14 weeks ago, and our last class had 40. So it wasn't just a few more and a few more. It went from 8 to 40. The participants, not all the participants will be graduating tonight just because they came in at the end of the class, so they'll restart in June. So if you kind of see, like, why isn't there 40 people graduating, that's the reason why. Another key note, like Wendy was talking about, is this class is a completely volunteer class. Our participants that we call trailblazers actually took off work and took off their programming time to participate in our class. So, you know, actually they lost money. And me and Caprice, you know, we're complete volunteers. We're led by God. This class isn't a faith-based class, but we are Christians and we do the hands and feet of Christ and do what we can. So it kind of puts a different spin on this class as well. So the participants, you know, may have lost wages, but they're going to gain successful employment. One of the key values in the class is that we offer employment that is a value to their age group, to who they are, to who they believe they are, who they can be. We want them to be proud of their work and proud of who they are, and be able to walk down the street or meet somebody and say, you know, I'm Amy Gerhardt and I work for the Dubuque Rescue Mission, and be proud of it and own it. And that's the key, not just to place people in jobs that, you know, they're not proud of and don't hold their head up high. We want careers for our participants. Like I said, Caprice and I were led by God to start this program, and each week as the room grew and lives changed, we knew we were in the right path despite the hard work. It's a harmony that God places in your life when you know you're making the right decisions. Everything kind of falls into place. All the work doesn't seem so hard. You have energy, you know, you're not tired, you still have time to do the everyday normal things, and you're fulfilled. So God shows you when you're on the right path. God also sent others into our lives with their past experience, present and future advice, and life experiences, their prayer, and inspirational night. Our inspirational night was incredible. So we had an inspirational night, and I want to thank Reverend Rick Mim from the Dubuque Rescue Mission, Pastor James Martin from Crossroads Community Church, Lieutenant Pablo Ramirez from the Dubuque Police Department, and our board member Antonio Mosine from Mindset Nutrition. So third week, I think, into it, we had an inspiration night, and these men got up and talked about their stories and just a real life talk, you know, and it connected. It was, some were shocking to you guys, right? And it was just awesome. And from that point on, it was truly a blessing, and everybody was just full of the Holy Spirit to continue. So a little bit about the curriculum that is taught. So we choose to use a curriculum called Getting Ahead While Getting Out. The motto of the curriculum is to reduce reentry and financial and social costs of reoffending. Offenders take responsibility for future plans and actions before and after release. Build stronger and better resourced individuals and family, and create communities where everyone can live in harmony together. Some of our trailblazers, some of the really great things for the Fountain of Youth that Caprice and I both thought of the same day, so must have been the Holy Spirit, right? Is the Fountain of Youth is 16 to 24-year-olds, and we're trying to have like peer engagement kids for them. And we both called each other and like, why can't Real Talk participants and graduates be these peer engagements? Why can't they be the assistants? Why can't they sit around our board? Because people in generational and situational poverty are the experts in their own lives. They don't need they need to be a part of the solution, and they need to give their advice and what they think, and it's just not us standing around like, we think they should do this, or we think they should, or this will be best for them. What is best for you? We want you there to tell us. We want you there to guide us. And especially for members of the board that haven't dealt with situational or generational poverty. So I'm very happy that they will be a part of this, and kind of like at church when you take your little kids to watch you worship the Lord, this is the same thing as teaching our Real Talk participants to service above self, and that's what's amazing about it. So with this discussion and the mental model and assignments made for our truly inspiring class, the Trailblazers not only got to learn about each other, but we also bridged many gaps of thinking with active and weekly probation officers, DOC managers, supervisors, college professional, law enforcement officers, and employment advertisers. We really believe that at the DOC, when you hear the word like police officer or probation officer or any of those things, what's your first emotion? And we've dealt with this since the very beginning of class. What's your first emotion? And it's fear, anxiety, scared, flight, all those different things, anger. And we have dealt that in order for our Real Talk participants to be successful citizens of Dubuque, they need to bridge that gap. And they need to bridge the gap that they don't feel those things and they feel like a part of the community. And what we found was the other half of it, the probation officers, the parole officers, the police officers need to bridge that gap too. So it's a work in progress, and it's truly amazing to watch. So Wendy Lyons, Monty, Kyle Stewart, James, Jason, John Stewart, Samaria, and Rayanne, they attended Real Talk every single week. So they weren't required to be there, but their attendance made it so that the Real Talk participants could focus on really the person. So we believe that if they respect the person, they'll respect the title, and that has been amazing. And we know like Kyle Stewart loves cherry ice cream, and Wendy loves to run, and just amazing, cool things. So thank you guys for participating every week. Lastly, to the graduates, always remember your self-worth. Always remember to fight to achieve your goals. They're going to have hiccups. You're going to run into bumps in the road, and things aren't going to go your way, and you're going to get let down, and people are going to let you down, and you're going to let yourself down once in a while, or not get that job, or not get the promotion, or have crazy teenagers like me, or whatever. But just fight through it. It will be okay. God's got you, and you're going to make it, and you're beautiful, and you're strong, and it will just keep going. Yeah. Always remember that if anyone rejects you, God never will. God will never reject you. So you may go through that. I still go through that. So anybody rejects you, God never will. Gentlemen, you are a prince. You are a prince. Ladies, you are a princess. You are a child of God. You're the kids of a king. So always remember you're a prince, and just walk with that. Just picture your crown or your tiara and walk high, and just know that you're princesses and you're princes. I am very proud of all of you. I think that this was amazing. It was a huge learning experience for all of us, and I am just happy to get to know all of you. I don't want to start crying, but I got you guys, and I will forever be here for you. If I'm not at Fountain of Youth, you can always come down to the rescue mission and hang out with me for the day. So congratulations, you guys deserve it. You're amazing, and I love you.
And right then you came.
Okay, without further ado, I'd like to present the graduates of 2017. Sean Gross. Lisa Benson.
And it's all because you came.
when you sent your son, and now I'm there.
Sean Gross.
And so Lord, here I am. Oh, and you were right there. And
Cassandra Richard. Kevin Bassman. Okay. Jamala King Killingsworth. Sorry. Where are we at here? Marlon Sneed.
No, I'll never.
Jason Woods. Henry Smith. John Turner. Why don't all you graduates go up so we can give you a round of applause. Yes, you can sit down. Please be seated.
Cassie and Nicole are also helping the Fountain of Youth office. They've already started giving back and helping.
Yep, they're doing their internship. So I'd like to introduce John Stewart. He's been amazing in our class also. And John?
I looked around and I noticed nobody else was dressed like me, and I thought that was kind of strange. So I wanted to say a word about this regalia, partly just for information, and partly because you Trailblazers are going to see this again, because you're going to be going through other programs that have graduations where you're going to be getting diplomas. And so maybe you know a little bit more about it in advance, it'll be more familiar to you. This regalia comes after the first university in the English-speaking world, Oxford University. First university was in Italy. But in Oxford, the people who taught had to wear cloaks that were really heavier than this because it was so cold. They didn't have that on that sheet. And not only that, you know, this is the first hoodie. You had to have hoods that they wore to keep themselves warm, because you know heat goes out your head. Now this part came later, and there are a number of variations on this that I don't know much about. But what's interesting about this regalia is that it tells you a number of things. The color of the outfit tells you the university it's from. The color and the insignia here, the seals here. So I did my PhD at the University of Southern California, and they're cardinal and gold. And so cardinal, and you know, at Southern California, so you got to be ta-da! These stripes on the sleeve indicate Doctor of Philosophy. And there are also robes for master's degrees, and they don't have those stripes on the sleeve. And then the hood has got a color combination. The blue in the hood indicates that my degree is in communication, and then of course the other colors are of the university. So when you get the first one of these that you have, many of you it'll be an associate's degree, some of you will be a bachelor's degree, and then you'll move beyond that, and all this stuff will get familiar to you. But I wanted you to know about it on this first step. Congratulations.
I'm overjoyed. There's an optimism that I'm driven by today. I believe that each and every one of you is going to be somebody. Today I want to say something. And I'm speaking to every graduate. Look at yourselves. You are beautiful. And I'm not limiting your beauty to just the physical aspect. But more so, I'm talking so deep. I'm talking spiritually. Yes. You've been repositioned in life. And today is a mere reflection of the new you. There's a purpose inside of you that has laid dormant, and the world would have no choice but to acknowledge who you are. Jamil, you are committed. You are dedicated. Nicole, you're special. You are going to be who you strove to be from the beginning of this journey. Marlon, there's so much. There's so much more. Yeah. Henry, you're a grandfather. And not just a mere title. It's happening. Jason, you're going to go big. Big places. I like your drive. Casey, I believe in you. You can do it. Sean, I love you. You're gonna make it. Lisa, look at you. You do it. From the inside out, beyond the pain. Sean, you're strong on the inside. You're a family man. John Turner, you represent, man, something bigger than yourself. All the ones who didn't believe that they could be somebody. 14 weeks ago, we began a journey, and Real Talk was born. I saw then what I see now. Purpose beyond circumstances. Many of you are working and thriving. Many of you are happy and striving. Many of you are changing the narrative of what statistically is expected.
Right.
Statistically, is expected for you not to make it. But you are rising above the storms of disappointment. You are rising above despair. And most importantly, you are leaving behind generational poverty thinking.
Yes.
And the acceptance of situational poverty. And in this elevation, the atmosphere is being shifted in your favor. Your children are being placed in a unique position, in which is love. In 14 weeks, the majority of you have stood in the essence of love. The moment you joined your life, it was change. It was lined up with change, and that moment, invisible change and chains were broken. And your heart had begun to be healed. This is the start of a fruitful future. So smile. You are beautiful.
Yes.
Casey, kick it off.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up here hot mess in front of y'all because I didn't know Caprice was gonna make me so emotional. Happy tears. This is what Caprice does to me, Amy. They do this to me. My name is Casey. I got arrested April 21st of 2015, and I'm winging this speech just so you guys know. I've helped them out so much I didn't have time to write my speech. So it's not their fault. I loved it. I loved it so much. I've dedicated 95% of my time to helping younger people in the Foundation of Youth. So I got arrested April 21st of 2015. I wasn't released back to full freedom until March 16th of 2017, which is just maybe 3 weeks ago. Since I got out of prison, I went to prison. Since I got out of there in May of 2016, I was in a residential facility. I did hot, not so hot. I went out, got jobs, did my thing, quit them a lot. I have a really, really bad commitment issue. I've had it my whole life. I'll start something, quit it, start a hobby, quit it, start a job, quit it. If it gets boring, I stop. And that's a character defect that I have to work on. I'm an adult now and I know that. Sean came and told me when he wasn't supposed to have contact with me, made sure that he came and told me to go listen to these people when they were talking. Thank you so much. Without him, I probably wouldn't have listened because they're just people. They didn't matter to me at the time. And I don't know how many other people can say that, but when you just see somebody coming outside from the community and you feel bad about yourself and feel like you were bad, it's a big deal to have people who care. And I don't have family. I don't have a lot of friends. The friends I've made have been since I've become more successful. When I went to prison, I dropped all of my friends. I had a lot of them. Dropped them all. I chose not to make phone calls except for one person. I chose not to have people put money on my books. I wanted to struggle because I wanted to know what it felt like. I came out. I went back to the facility. It was my second time there, so they all knew me. They all knew how I acted and how I reacted, and when I was going to screw up before I did. They really helped me. My parole officer, who can't be here, she met me outside earlier to tell me congratulations, waited just for me before she took off somewhere. She's been the biggest support for me. She's one of the POs who, there's some of them who say, you screwed up, you got to go back to jail. She's one who tells me, I know you make mistakes. You're human, we're all human, and even though I haven't been there, I understand. And she lets me keep moving as long as I'm doing good. You know, we all make mistakes. We came from places where we make big mistakes. And I came out of prison thinking that I was nothing, I was nobody, I wasn't going to go anywhere besides a minimum wage job. Having a forgery on your background, that's a big deal. A lot of people don't even want to look at you. You're dirt because you've stolen from someone. And I am now an administrative assistant with LaCole for Amy, Caprice, and the entire Foundation of Youth. I just helped run the opening for the Pioneer Program. They make sure that I know every day that I'm doing good. They make sure, Caprice texts me every night and says, you did great today, you know, just today, and then texts me the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. Every single day the same thing, letting me know that I'm doing good. This whole room plus some, you're all my support now. This is my family. I came through this with my best friend since 2012, LaCole. She's done great. She's a mom. For us to go through this together is a really, really big deal. To see two people who are friends do the same positive thing. Turns out I didn't have to drop all my friends. I thought I did. She came right up with me. I have good support. My best friend's here. He's been through it, came with me. He's doing things with me. It turns out that when you're a criminal, guys, you don't have to drop everybody. You just have to make sure who's on the right path. I want to say that we all support each other. We may not like each other all the time. Everybody butts heads, but we all make sure that when one of us is down, everybody knows it and everybody helps each other. With that, I want to tell you guys thank you so much. Thank you. I would have never had the opportunities I had if it wasn't for you guys.
Kick it off.
I'm Jamel Killingsworth. If it weren't for Sean, I wouldn't be here. If it weren't for Caprice, I wouldn't be here. I just want to thank y'all, you know. To be real, I don't even know what to say. I just want to say thank y'all for supporting me in everything that I'm going through and everything that I plan on doing, which is, you know, take care of my daughter, just graduate from school and get my GED, and just moving forward and just doing better for me and my daughter and my little family I got going on that ain't here right now. But I just want to be the first one in my family to actually do something, because like my family, like we ain't really been nothing, you know. Alcoholics, drug addicts, nothing major, you know. I just want to be the first one to put my last name on something. Yeah. And that's what I plan on doing. With this diploma, that just makes me strive harder to get my GED, because I can have another, you know, successful thing I got going on. My daughter can be happy for me. She can't just keep looking at me like, oh, my daddy go to jail all the time and he in this. Like, she always asks me like, every time I see her, she be like, Dad, you gotta go back to the halfway house. I be like, yeah, but not for long though. I'll be out there. She be like, I can't wait till you come home. I just be like, man, me either. She only say that because I keep it with the freshest J's that come out. I keep it happy now, but that's my daughter though, man. She's premature, 2 pounds 8 ounces, and I used to smoke before she was born, and I've been sober for 5 years. Trying to strive for myself, for my mom that's passed, my dad got cancer. We moving, man. We gonna make it.
Please, kick it off.
I'm Lisa Benson, and first I'd like to say thank you to Caprice and Amy for helping me get through this class when times were kind of tough. And I have to say thank you to Nicole. She's not younger than me, but she's kind of been a mentor for me when I really needed her. Kind of helped bring my spirits back up when I really kind of hit the floor every now and then. I went to prison twice. I got arrested the second time back in 2016, and it was kind of rough that time. I thought I had everything going, thought I had a pretty good home life, and I really didn't. I let myself just get way out of control and lost everything that was most precious to me in life. And I don't know, by the grace of God, I have 2 beautiful children, 2 wonderful parents who are sitting right there today. Without them, I can guarantee you, I would have lost my children to DHS a long time ago. And sitting next to Sean, there's my youngest right there. Because of Caprice and Amy, they have shown me that I can do better, and I can do what I need to do to get home to him, to get home to my oldest, and then I want to go back to school, and I want to be an advocate for women like me and Casey who have been in prison but don't know how to help themselves and who don't know how to work, how to do things the right way.
Yeah.
So I would like to again say thank you, Caprice and Amy, and thank you to the program.
Sean, kick it off.
Where do I start? I'm nervous, man. I'm not really a proud person. But yeah, I guess I can say, thank you, Caprice. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. This has been a long journey for me. Back in 2012, I think of June, first time I ever caught a case. Yeah, it wasn't my fault, but it was. It was. That day changed my life. I spent about 2 months in jail. I was scared. I was so scared. First time ever. I made a dedication that when I got out, that because I smoked marijuana, that I would stop completely. I would do what these people told me to do, which was sassy, the judge, the probation officer, whatever it took. As life goes on, never had a chance to graduate. Ended up moving down here in 2008 by force. I say my life really did change when my daughter showed up. So I dedicate that to her. I strive every day. I try to be the best man I can be. I am a family man, like Caprice said. I am strong. I try to stay positive. I try to keep a smile on my face. Anybody that knows me, I am happy, I'm smiling, fun. But that's just how you have to live your life. In order to get to the next day. You can't hold your head down, whether bad, good, whatever.
Yeah.
I do want to be a motivational speaker, but like again, I'm shy. I don't know how that's going to work.
We can work on that.
But my goal in life was to become a cop. It was. I always wanted to be the person to chase down someone. And pretty much, I'm big right now. It was little years ago, but I always thought about chasing someone. Just the excitement. This program has changed. This is a new beginning for new people that's coming. Before after us. We need someone like Caprice in the Beauty Island. We don't have that. We are frowned upon, people, this judgment. That's just not how life's supposed to be. I've been down here, like I said, since 2008, and it's been hard trying to get a job, just hard just living life, period. But somehow God brings me out of that storm, So I appreciate this program. And Cal, is my probation officer. He introduced me to this. Thank you. You are like a father to us, like God, to black men. I am so happy you came into you. Because if it wasn't for you, what would we do? Seriously, what would we do?
Henry, kick it off.
Hello everybody, my name is Henry Smith. When Amy introduced Caprice, he played the music, I thought he was going to start singing. I'm like, but anyway, I'm so grateful. I come up here from Chicago. I've been up here maybe 2 or 3 months. Didn't have no direction. Didn't know what I was going to be able to do with myself, especially at this late age in my life. I ran into this brother Caprice. Told me about the program. Be honest, at first I wasn't interested. You know what I mean? But you know what? Something said, give this brother a try. And at that point, my lifestyle changed. You know, I didn't have an ID. I didn't have Social Security card. A lot of things I didn't when I first come up here. Right now, I got it all. I even got a loan registration card. I'm back. I'm reunited with my family. That's my baby girl over here. There's a lot of things that's been happening for me since I've been here, and I'm so grateful. Grateful to you guys for allowing me this opportunity. You know what I mean? Because I really didn't know what I was going to be able to do. You know? So I commend you all, and like the brother said, we should keep this up. That's just good, positive things happen. And I'm grateful to you tonight.
Nicole, kick it off.
Okay, so I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but since Caprice and Casey like opened these doors already for us. I caught my cases the year I turned 21. By the time I was 22, I was a 5-time convicted felon. I had my daughter in 2012. I thought that was gonna change my life, but I still continued to make the wrong decisions and do things that I wasn't proud of. In January, I was told that I was going to have to come back to the facility. And that really got me pumped. Thanks, Amy. I stood in a doorway with my 4-year-old daughter, and she told me, Mommy, you can't cry, because if you cry, I'm going to cry. That opened my eyes to the fact that my daughter fully understood what was going on and that I had to change something. So I was in the cafeteria eating lunch at the facility when my great friend Casey over here went up to Caprice and said, hey, this is my friend Nicole, and she's coming with me on Wednesday. Where was my option at? I don't know, but I was coming. So I came and I met Amy and I met Caprice, and from that day forward, something in me just changed. Like I had to change something. Since then, they've opened up their doors and hearts to me. They've allowed me to be one of the administrative assistants at the Fountain of Youth. We've been working with teenagers all week, trying to get them on a better road, help them get jobs. It's just an amazing program, and I'm so proud and happy to be a part of it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I love you guys. Love you.
Tyrone, kick it off. Matter of fact, get Tyrone this.
Well, I was sad to see it. It's not gonna let me speak. I like the introduction. When I heard that, that's something that they would say when Bernie Mac speaks. Many of you all probably don't know who Bernie Mac is. Hey, kick it off. But anyway, I am Tyrone. When I first met Caprice, hi Amy, and the distinguished graduate here. I'm Tyrone Creighton, and I go to the jail on Wednesdays, and I host AA meetings. And I target young people, particularly the young men, and I say, hey, listen guys, before we get started, I'd like to take a survey, wondering how many people have landed here in the Dubuque jail that did not drink or did not drug. And the percentage is 98% of people that are in jail, they they're under the influence of something. And the 2% are people that have mental, emotional disorders, and we'll talk about that at the end of my little comment here. But I saw Caprice, and I'm like, man, I'm doing all this stuff in the community before you even got here. What are you going to come here and offer this community? I've said all that can be said, and you know, I've told them, I said, you know, when you get out of here, don't drink, don't drug, and make meetings. And what we found was repeat offenders. What we found was young people committing suicide, and this heroin, this bad heroin that came in was killing a lot of people, and that concerned me. I was like, man, when I had a drug problem, they didn't have the heroin that they have out today, and the meth had just taken over this community. And what more can we do? And then Caprice told me, you know, he was on a mission from God or something. I was like, yes. And he told me, you know, his experience, and that he had a vision for the city, and he wanted to help and also target the young people here and the youth, and help them out. And he just started going over to the facility, talking to the heads of the community, and I'm saying to myself, he's going to get tired, you know, and he's going to give out, you know, because it looks hopeless. But I just like to stand here today and say that I had retired. I'm 63, and I had just got out of the job field, but seeing what he was doing in way of helping young people get jobs, I got interested in employment again, and he asked me one day, he said, well, what kind of job would you want? And I said, well, I've always, since I've been here, I wanted a city job. I said, I'd like to work for the city. He said, in what capacity? I said, maybe driving the bus. So he says, well, okay, well, I'm going to talk to the people that's over transportation here, and see if they would be interested in hiring you. And he did, and it snowballed, and they said, hey, come take your test. Your physical is Monday, and I studied for my CDLs, and everything has just come together for me. And before the month's over, I'll be driving the city bus here. And that's thanks to a dreamer. You know, he has a vision for Dubuque, and I learned years ago that sometimes, you know, when people think it's just one way to skin a cat, or is this or is that, I found out that we need more than just AA. We need more than just the physicians that are here that's helping us with our mental health issues. It's too many people are committing suicide. But it's also that, and that being Caprice and the Youth Foundation. And I'd like to give you all a big hand.
John Turner, kick it off.
I'm not wearing that because of flashes. Hi, my name is John Turner II. I was in Korea for 7 weeks. I got a job at the outset at Post Post. I work out there for the week, 410s, and I work at the warehouse right here along with Sean. Sean told me about this program. You gotta check it out. From that day on, I've been involved in this program. I wish I could be in all the classes, but I got to work. You got the facility windy and The rest of them, they know me very well because I've been there more than once. I am a recovering addict. I've been almost a year clean.
Yeah.
Who I love more than life itself. If God called my name right now, He can have it for my kids. That's how I feel about that. I'm striving every day to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Get a job. Realize that they can be a better person. All they got to do is believe in the man upstairs and the things will work out for them. I want to thank Amy. I've been knowing Amy for a while. I'm surviving liver cancer. I went through 1 bout of chemo. I've been going back to Iowa City quite a bit. But I know the tumor's destroyed. It's all clear. I see talking to Caprice, like, man, who did you pushing a lawnmower? And I talked to him one day, and he's like, well, I'm going to start this program. I'm like, what program? I mean, individual. Are they ready for it? Because, like you said, it's stereotypes. I'm a recovering addict. They look at us like we're pieces. We know. But if you strive and believe in yourself, that's all it takes. And your output on life, you've been there. I've been there. I know what these young men are going through. You're trying to make $1, don't mean nothing. Get a job. Go to school. Get your GED. Go to college. Make yourself something. I like to be a drug counselor because I know a lot about drugs. I've been there. I've been homeless. I've been in the shelter. I lived in the bag. I've done all that. Today I'm in the halfway house working 2 jobs, trying to take care of my family. And my man Sean, I got love for him because he's my boy. Especially this little man right there. And he loves his son more than his own wife. And that's a young man saying that. And he wants his son to look at him like, hey, that's my dad. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
He's a chef. Right there. We work the same way. We work 9 hours a day. And you know what? I love you, man, with all my heart. And your family, your girl, I know her forever. I know her for 2 weeks. That's way back. Thank you very much.
We got 2 more people left. Jason, kick it off, man.
I told I was skipped when I went to the bathroom, but I'm not very good at speaking in front of people either, so just like to say thank you to everybody, to all the participants, because we all help each other. Caprice, I actually found out about this program through you. We were down there at the facility one day, recruiting, and I overheard that I jumped in. So thank you, and thank Amy, and just thank everybody for being there. It's a good program. I've enjoyed honor and privilege to be able to be one of the first classes through this. I've got 2 sons that are within the age to where they should be starting the next group. I'm going to try to get them in as well. So, thank you.
Sean, kick it off.
How y'all doing? My name is Sean Thomas. I am the spokesman of the Founders Youth Program and the youngest in the group. So basically how I found out about the group was in the facility when Amy, Caprice, Nick, and Pastor came up in there just telling us about it. And basically I spoke my mind. I told them that a lot of groups out here say they in this to help.
Yeah.
I come to find out that all they do is sell hopes and dreams, Nobody actually put in the commitment or put in the work to actually help us out. Like the rest of my brothers and sisters said, they look at us differently, for real, And I told them, not only will I put them to the test, but I will stay committed to this. And what the priest told me was, he want me to test them. Because he'll test us harder than anybody, and that's exactly what he did. Waking up after working to 3 o'clock in the morning, gotta wake up at 9 to come down to the meeting. I was late, I was mad, I told him, but still, it happened,
Yeah.
But either way, I changed my life. I'm not even gonna say my whole background on my jail sentence and all that, because that's not me anymore, because of these people. You know. I came from Mississippi. I was born in Chicago, but I was raised in Mississippi with my grandma. Never had a mother, you know, by me, but came down here, met this wonderful woman right here. She, known her for a long time. She is now, I call, and forever will, my mother. She survived breast cancer. She's the strongest woman I ever met, you know. My backbone, my fiance, Keitra, and my lovely Prince right there. I love y'all. If it wasn't for y'all, I would not be here at all, you know. Y'all been my inspiration, my motivation to keep going and striving harder. Like, there was times where I really did gave up, and she wouldn't let me. And they wouldn't let me either.
That's right.
And I'd just like to say that I appreciate everybody putting their foot in my behind to keep me going, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have made it out the facility. I wouldn't have graduated from here. You know, I worked at the Barrel House, also got to give a big shout out to my man Chris back there.
Yeah.
John, you already know the love I got for you. Just say thank y'all, you know, especially
Well, I want to thank every, yes,
May I say something?
absolutely. Kick it off.
I don't usually speak in front of a lot of crowds, but you know, I'm Lisa's mother, and this is Alan, my dearest husband. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary. I'm very impressed with all these young people, because what I mean is, Lisa, she came from a very, very good background. She had all the moral support in the world. And it showed that even kids that come from good backgrounds can go the wrong way. But you kids that didn't have all the moral backgrounds, still, this program brought you right up to the top. And just please, let the dear God and Lord help you just on the way, and just keep on going. Don't ever go back. The drugs and the alcohol, don't ever go back to them, okay? Thank you. You've done so wonderful. Please, make many, many more classes. Glory to God.
Thank you.
Yes.
All the people that's new for the next group, would y'all stand?
All right.
I want to encourage y'all to understand that they paved the way for you all to make it greater.
Yes.
And you all make it greater through the ones that follow behind you all. Stay on this path. You know, this is a path that's this is so simple. Somebody asked me, they said, Caprice, like, what's your strategy? You know, like, what are you going to do? I just simply told them, love somebody.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of definition to that, beyond the fondness.
Yep.
It's keeping it real with somebody. And so I just want to encourage everybody that came here tonight to really not just lead this night after you eat. There's going to be some good food courtesy of Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
who are sponsors and partners with the Founding Youth Program, would y'all stand up?
Yeah.
Now we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to begin to spread the word on such a great investment for our city.
Yeah.
And see, I say our, because see, I've been understood that when I cross that bridge, that I am a Dubuque citizen.
Right.
I don't say I'm from Chicago. I was from Chicago. I'm from Dubuque.
Yeah.
And what we're experiencing right now is Dubuque, the living masterpieces on the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Dubuque, take a look at you now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, all the things that we strive for, we got to think about who coming behind us.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a new Rick Dickinson one day. It's going to be a new some hard shoes to fill. But you got the ability to pave the way. I already consider you. I tell everybody, Rick Dickinson is my business mentor.
Yes.
Wendy Mims, you got a grave responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And that responsibility is to continue to put people on the pathway to success.
Yes.
And I thank you. Jim, you're a huge part of this community. And wouldn't it be good to rub some of the things that you believe in off to some of these others?
Yeah.
To get them to see that there's something that's very necessary. They're right in front of you. These are not the statistics. These are the results beyond the statistics.
Yeah.
That people can change. They're in the early processes. But the thing is, I was in my early process, and I ain't looked back.
Right.
I don't even remember I was a criminal. Until somebody else reminded, like, I did that? I don't even remember. I don't remember I used to use profanity. I don't remember I used to cheat on my wife. I don't remember I used to curse. I don't remember I used to be just scandalous. I don't remember it. Why? Because I've overcame it.
Yes.
And so here it is. This is a success story. It's not just the people who are involved, but also the families. She's been hurt for many years.
Yeah.
She's been waiting on the day to see her daughter say, Mama, I'm thinking different. That's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And we need more breakthroughs, and we need support. Amen. And so a program like this identifies with one thing. Organizations need to pour into each other.
Yes.
I wouldn't be standing here, none of this would be successful if you all did not believe in me coming to you saying, hey, I got this great idea. So now introduce this great idea that you invested in to others so they can share and reap the benefits of what you feel from experiencing what we're putting to, bringing to the table.
That's right.
And so thank you, and I hope you all are hungry. We got plenty of food. Let's eat.
Hold on. All right. What we decided to do at Subway for all the graduates, what we're doing is this. You get a free platter. It's a 5-sub platter since you guys have graduated the program. This is something that I personally fought for because I personally believe in the program. For y'all who don't know me, my name is Chris Appleton. Came from the facility myself. I just recently got out. I've been moving up in Subway. I've moved up now to the assistant district manager of Subway. With this program, this is something, again, that I also believe in. I talked to Caprice down at the facility. I never got a chance to make it, and ever since I have now, we've just been running off with it. So at the end of it with the graduates, please come see me when you get done so we can go ahead and get this set up for your platters for you. That's right, everyone gets one of their own. So as I said, each person.
Thank you. And lastly, Bob Lederman is the guy behind the camera. Bob does all of our photography. He does all of our videos.
We created that.
He created that
He
picture
created
you're
this
looking at.
video, our picture. If anybody went to our dinner, we all took pictures separately, and then Bob photoshopped them all in together. So Bob will be starting a film class with our youth, in a drone flying class. So he's a really great asset to the Fountain of Youth also. So, thank you, Bob.
I'd like to get pictures of all the graduates. I'd like to get pictures of all the graduates, a graduation picture.
Okay.
Over on the other side, we go eat.
Let's go
After
eat.
this, we're gonna go eat, okay? But from all of us, from the Found the Youth program, we have a gift for Caprice.
Oh.
Wow, thank you. This is like one of Barb's creations. Barb is one of our employers. She has currently 3 people working with her, designing all type of things for the Found the Youth program that we use to raise funds with. So we got small business owners that has big love for people that's underserved.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you all for this gift. Let's go eat.
I thought you never